because as you show, I don't want to give too much of it away, but there's 4 guys, and of course, these are politically correct terms, so we have to say, of course, not all Arabs or Muslims are terrorists. Yes, we never said differently, but it is just 4 Arabs sitting in first class. One of them is a man in a burqa.
That's what the flight attendant said.
Which also would have been a good title. the man in the burqa.
That's what the flight attendant said. There were 3 flight attendants we interviewed. We interviewed the pilot. And this was a plane, a United flight that was supposed to take off from JFK at 9 in the morning, and it was going to Los Angeles.
Same time as the other 4.
Same time. It would have aligned perfectly. And there were a lot of things that happened, but ultimately, I think the reason this is so stunning that it never really came out is these flight attendants were all interviewed by the FBI immediately. The FBI was alarmed. They locked that plane up after everybody got evacuated, and all of a sudden, people on the ground saw 2 people running in the plane. The plane had been fully empty, and the authorities came and opened the door, and the hatch that leads from the cabin down to the bottom of the plane and the tarmac, it was open. Somebody opened this hatch. What the pilot thinks, and what he told me, they found box cutters in the plane right next to his, and it was one number up.
First class.
In first class, in the seat pockets.
Right. I mean, they did everything but leave a business card that said Mohammed Kabloui.
Well, look, here's the thing. There was somebody on the ground that, at least the pilot thinks, that came up into that plane thinking the box cutters were put on that plane, which is what the intention was, and they were trying to look for weapons to get rid of them before anybody searched the plane.
No, plainly, there's no other explanation.
The FBI took the flight attendants to a lineup to see if they could identify these passengers, and it was never mentioned in the 9/11 Commission report. Never.
That was the most disturbing part of it to me. What other reason would there be box cutters planted in the pocket, seat pocket? Of course, that's what it is. I have 2 questions. One, any idea what the target was? Because my guess is the White House.
Well,
because if I was planning the big attack with 5 planes, now you have to think of it in terms of 5. Okay, the one that crashed in Pennsylvania, that was headed for the Capitol. So you got the Capitol, the Pentagon, the 2 towers. What else are you going to take out? Mount Rushmore? No.
Well, some people think that. Well, I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows where the flight in Pennsylvania was headed. It could have been the Capitol, but it could have been the White House.
What is, as opposed to what? The Smithsonian, the Department of Fisheries and Hatcheries? No, you're going to take out the White House.
Yeah.
So
this plane, by the way, it never took off. It got to the runway and they called it back because at that point, it would have taken off, but there was a long line. The pilot said it was the only day, usually it's 1 or 2 planes ahead of him, there were 10 planes, and were it not for that, the plane would have been in the air, and God knows what would have happened.
So did the same people who work on TMZ Vanderpump Rules do a show like that? Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching the clip. Hit the subscribe button now so you never miss out on our Club Random content that's posted daily.